Yo, what's up, guys? Happy Friday. This is gonna be killer. I can already tell there's a lot of people in here. And from what I can tell, is you guys kind of miss the Friday lives, huh? I'm on another level right now just because I'm gonna rant for a few. Well, I'm not really gonna rant, but basically I felt like I was putting out a lot of content, and I kind of was. But then Barrick and I filmed a podcast outside because I was like, yo, let's just be on my podcast. Let's do it over Zoom. It'll be pretty fun. And he's like, oh, I don't want to do it over Zoom. So I bought another mic. I bought a thing so that we could record it. And the whole concept now with the podcast is we're just going to go to different street spots every week, every Friday night. We're going to go to a different street spot and we're going to find an outlet. We're going to set up our table. We're going to podcast there for about an hour. And then we're going to sesh for a little bit and incorporate a mini edit into the podcast. And so this one we filmed out in at the parking garage where we always go. There was like a cat fight and there was random people that showed up to take pictures of their car. It was a lot of fun. And so I've spent the last like few days literally just taking couple minute videos. You guys will see them popping up on the channel, right? Just like 2 3 minute clips of me answering questions from the live or sections from the podcast or whatever. And it's just going to be a stupid amount of podcast or amount of content that's going to be going out for you guys. So just a fair warning, there's going to be a lot of stuff. So if you guys miss a live, you miss a podcast, like you'll get bits and pieces of it on Instagram, on everything. I spent a couple $100 on a social media like management software. Some of you guys saw a post come early this morning. It was just a test post. And Black 187, he's usually on here. He's like, what is this? And so anyway, there's a lot of exciting things coming. I'm going to try and hit 1,000 videos, quality videos that you guys will enjoy. I'm at 200 something right now. Would be reason by the end of the year. By the end of the year, that's the goal. Okay, 1,000 videos, 10,000 subs, all that stuff. So first of all, how was everybody's weekend? Did you? Oh, wait. The weekend just started. How was everyone's week? I see some good comments. First, while you guys pop in your questions, I'm gonna go through the first 5 people, give them the moderator, and kind of talk about. Lucas came in here. He's like, "Yo, I just almost landed a feeble hard three," and I was like, "Wait, what?" He completely blew my mind because a feeble hard three is, well, like it says in the name, very hard. But then he's saying he meant feeble as in the term like weak, like a weak hop three, which is still everyone say congrats because for me, it was like 180s, okay? And then I wanted to learn threes, and I kind of learned three taps, but going from three tap to actual 360 was a big accomplishment for me. And, we're not going to count it yet, Lucas, until you get the full 360, but get that next week. Like you got the full 360. All you need to do is suck up your knees and make sure your head's turned, and you're going to have it. So congrats, Lucas. Rado, I saw Rado pop in here. We got Isaac. Rado hasn't been in a live in a hot minute. Isaac is also working the hop three. This is sick. You guys are awesome. I'm happy that we are doing this live this Friday. Okay, so the first person in here was Mr. Blake. What's up, Blake? How are you doing? Next is Isaac. Liam BMX Nova. What's up, Liam? Liam was the first question, so I'll get to your question, Liam. I'm just going to run through a couple things. Then we got Lucas, and then we got the Fun Channel. I feel like the Fun Channel is not going to be in here for Fun Channel. If you're still in here, let me know. But you are a moderator. So anyway, we got this. Hey, what's up, Matt? Dude, this podcast just having Barrick. So Matt says the street podcast sesh sounds dope. Just having Barrick on it, like increase the whole quality so much because it's not just me talking to the mirror I have or the camera or whatever. We were able to like build off the conversation, bounce ideas back and forth. So I really think you're gonna love it. Anyone who listens to the podcast, it's just it's another level for me. I'm really proud of it. And there's some senseless rambling and we get off topic, but that's just how it is. Anyway, so the first is Liam. Liam BMX Nova says, would you say I need to downsize my BMX racing gear? Oh God. I'm running a 42 in the front and 16 in the back with 165 millimeter cranks. Liam, this very rarely happens, but I always say, like, if I get a question that comes up and I have no idea the answer or anything, I'll just say I have no idea. And this is a rare case, man. I don't know anything about racing, sadly. It's an area Barrick and I were talking about this before the podcast, is we both kind of want he used to race, and I said I'd get a racing bike just to mess around and like get in shape on the track with you. And so thing I eventually want to do, because building the Dougsterbob brand to include racing in flatland would be crucial for me. But I don't know anything about it, man. I I know about gearing though, and so I can touch on that, but it depends what you want to accomplish. So basically, the closer you are to a 1-to-1 ratio, the harder it is to pedal. So for example, 25/9, if you multiply 25 by 4, you're at 100. You multiply 9 by 4, you're at 36. So that's 36 to 100, right? And now if it was 100 to 50, it's going to be really hard to pedal, but you're going to have a higher top speed. And I feel like that makes sense in my head, but it doesn't make any sense to you. Long story short, man, if you go downsize, okay, let's say you just downsize the back, right? Instead of a 16, you go to a 14, running 42/14. I don't know if that's a thing in racing, but it's going to be a lot easier to pedal. So you're going to have more acceleration, but you're going to have less of a top speed. In the BMX world, some people ride 25/9, some people ride 28/9. And with trail specific bikes, I talk about 28/9 being important because with that bigger front sprocket, you're going to be able to pedal a lot more. You're going to get a higher top speed. But when you start off pedaling, it's a lot harder to pedal. And so you sacrifice that acceleration with the top speed that you're going to get. If you go to 23/9, you're going to get a much faster acceleration, but there's going to come to a point where you're pedaling as hard as you can, but you're not necessarily turning the wheel because you've hit your top speed. And that top speed's different than it would be, in 25/9. So hopefully that answers your question. But in terms of racing, man, I have no idea. Um, yeah, yeah, no idea. Anyway, so I bailed on the chiropractor. I was telling you guys about how I think the chiropractor is trying to scam me on the Sunday live. He wants like $1,300 to fix my neck. My neck feels pretty good. It took about a week, but I didn't pay $1,300. I just didn't go, and I hope they don't just charge me because that would be illegal, right? Yo, BMX. Liam says I learned to 360 flat on my BMX race bike. That's crazy, man. Those bikes. So we talk about chainstays a lot, and the race bikes have, I think it's like post 40 or post 14-inch chainstay. So like in BMX, we're always seeing, oh, well, should I go 13? Should I go 13.2 or should I go 12.7? Like the race chainstay is big, and that's going to make their control amazing. But for spins, a bigger chainstay makes it very hard. Liam, I bet you could do like 540s flat if you switch to a 12.7 chainstay. That'd be crazy. Lucas says he has a massive 10 stair rail at his skate park and a guy grinded it up. Lucas, I thought you were going to say that you did it. Okay, Isaac. Doug, are 8 spline cranks worth it? I want to get new ones, but 48 spline are really expensive. Isaac, I don't know why it is, but you know, I want to say important upgrades that I did on my bike, and I've never changed it since. But in all honesty, I don't know if they really have that much of an effect. They are weaker and they're a lot heavier, but I run 48 spline cranks because I run spline drive sprocket. With a spline drive sprocket, it just sits exactly how it's supposed to. And I'm sure a lot of you guys know where you tighten that bolt that holds the sprocket in place on the crank. Sometimes that sprocket still wiggles. So you get side to side wobble, you get loose tight wobble, and it just makes your bike feel awful. So that was the biggest reason why I switched to 48 spline. So I could run spline drive and just completely cut that out of the equation. You could also, with spline drive, run left hand drive or right hand drive. without having to switch the cranks around or buy different drive specific cranks. But if you're not breaking 8 spline, you don't necessarily need to go up to 48 spline. But I will say they're way, 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 way more expensive. They're way lighter and they're way stronger. So I don't know what your level of riding is at. I mean, if you have the money, I would never run 8 spline riding at the level I'm riding at. But for a brand new person, it's okay. You're working into Hop 360s. I think you're going to be pretty close to like mid-level rider very soon. And right around mid-level, you want to start upgrading to 48 spline. Make sure you have double wall and even aftermarket chromoly. So that's kind of my take on that. But that was down at the bottom. I got skipped down a little bit. Isaac, yeah, Isaac, you're grinding a 5 rail and working on 3 flat, dude. You should really go with the 48 spline. I think that's gonna the lightness, the strength, you're gonna benefit from it for sure. All right. Rado, this is a decent. Oh, I forgot to pin these. Guys, we're already at 13 likes. That's like a world record. So Rado says, Doug, how do you take off the grip places that on the end of the bar is so hard? One's there, but I am buying a mountain bike and it's a hexagon grip, and I want one from Scoot. Okay, I think you're just asking about the plastic bar ends on the end of the bars. Okay. Rado, what you need to do is if they're plastic, like say the ODI ones, for example, there was a question about this on how to put them in that I saw on Facebook, but so it's going to be the same for putting them in and taking them out. Some people try to hammer them, and that kind of works, but not all the time. So I want you to try this. Okay, grip it like this, just around it as best you can, and then you need to twist when you push in. For whatever reason, like they're not threaded, but twisting it gets them in, and then same with taking them out. So it's going to be harder with your hands to twist them out. It doesn't matter which way you twist them, but as long as they're twisting when you pull. Um, so twist them and just try and get them separated a little bit from the bar enough that you could get some pliers or a wrench in there, and then you can use that to pry and twist at the same time and they'll pop right out. But if you're just trying to pull, the way that like those fake threads are designed is that they're gripping as you try and pull, and as you try and push, they're bending one way or another. So by twisting it, you're relieving some of that pressure and you can get your bar ends in and out. But I also fully recommend just getting par ends. Best thing you'll ever do, because they just screw in with a little Allen key and pop in and out. Yeah, yeah, Lucas, that's what Lucas said. If you're hitting 5, 5 stair rails, you definitely should get. Guys, I have never here's a crazy story. I've never like in the streets, I guess. At a park, I've done rails downstairs, but I've never grinded down a rail downstairs. I just can't. I hate how much higher the top of the rail is than the bottom. So like when you hop, you have to dip down like that. I don't like that. That's kind of spooky. Um, but up, I have no problem going up. Is it That's weird, huh? We all have our mental blocks. Rodney, what's up, Rodney? I saw the picture you guys posted in bike school. I love that. Rodney's got the whole family riding BMX bikes. It's amazing. But Rodney says I pay 55 every time I go to the chiropractor with no insurance. Yeah. See, what they wanted was 40. So my copay is 40, but it's 3 times a week for 2 months. And like, I feel pretty good without. I got a massage ball, I massaged my traps, and I started, he popped my neck one time, and I should pay them for that. So that's what I thought. I was like, hey, I feel like they're gonna want me to pay for that one time. Because after he popped it, I was like, cool, let's go. Like, I'll sign up to do this. And then the girl wasn't there. He said, just come back later. And then I didn't come back. And so I think I got that one for free. But I'm not a scammer, I swear. Like, I'd pay them if they wanted, but if they're not gonna, like, I can use that $40 elsewhere. Pedro, Good to see you. Have you ever ride dirt jump or a mountain bike? Do you like them? My wife will kick me out if I buy another bike. Pedro, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a while. I'm glad you are on here. I love seeing all your beautiful profile pictures, guys. It is a good thing for the Friday morning. Gets my day started off good. So Pedro, I have never rode a dirt jumper or a mountain bike. I mean, like I've rode them, but seriously, jumping and stuff, I've never done that. Nick, the my partner with bike school, he rides a dirt jumper and he used to ride BMX. He was so good on BMX and he switched to dirt jumper. Same with Reed Boggs. A lot of those guys started out with BMX and moved to the dirt jumper. Why? I'm not sure, but for them, like, they just have a lot more fun doing it, and I told Nick, like, eventually when have enough money, I'll buy a dirt jumper and go ride with him. Like, he goes up to Utah with Reed, and they do the Rampage courses in the off season. I was like, "Dude, I'd totally do that with you." It'll scare me to death, but hey, like, it sounds fun. I think with the bigger jumps, one, I'm really tall, so that would help me out a lot, just having a lot more control. But it feels a lot different on the trails because you have a bigger wheelbase and things like that. So it for me, it would take a lot of getting used to. Like a set I can hit on my 20-inch, I probably couldn't do until I got used to a dirt jumper. But another thing on that, before I go on to the next question, is dirt jumpers are insanely easy to bar spin. And that's going to be because a lot of people don't know that. I thought it would be harder because the big wheel, right? And Jake, the action sports instructor at Woodward, was like, "No, dude, it's easier. Like, try it." So I hopped on his bike, and it was so easy. And that's because the stem. So this is where I started to learn about the stem reach. But like the stem reach on a dirt jumper is basically not very far, right? It goes out a little bit, enough for the bar to be right there, and then boom. On a BMX bike, it goes out like 48, 54 millimeters, and then the bars are up like this. So they're just significantly easier on a dirt jumper. And I think that's really interesting. And it's contrary to popular belief. Pedro, what's your favorite trick on the dirt jumper? Oh, I think I just saw the homie. Hold on, hold on. Oh, it's gone. It's Zerk. No, Yiko. Yiko, what's up, Yiko? Yiko, your question posted a lot of controversy there about the time to shine. Update us, man. What's the good news? Did you get scammed? I don't think you did. So I saw on that topic, I'm going to make a separate video about bike shops and stuff because that's a popular heated debate. But it sounds like the time to shine either had a really bad run a few years ago, but then something that he told a different guy that heard bad things about them online is that a competitor started these rumors about them so that they could essentially not do as much business. And I don't know if I necessarily believe that, but I've had people say they had a great experience, and then people say they had a terrible experience. So it sounds like Yiko got his stuff shipped, and I'm really excited for that. It was God, I can't even remember what you got. It was a bike, right? Hopefully you get that soon, man. That's awesome. Oh, so you already have, yeah, Isaac, I would not go backwards from 48 to 8 spline. Reason being is that quality difference and the weight difference. The spindle of a 8 spline is just a huge chunk of metal. It weighs as much as probably a wheel set, honestly. It's crazy heavy. And yeah, dude, stay with the 48. You can find them in 165, but I know what you mean. They're going to be slightly expensive, but this might save you some money. Is look at just replacement crank arms. So I don't know what set you have, but generally 48 spline cranks are going to fit on 48 spline spindles. So for example, Profile sells just replacement crank arms for like $70. And you could, well, that'd be 140. So it'd save you like, I don't know, 40 bucks or so if you go that route. But look into that. That might be able to help you out a little bit because I know it is expensive, but you might like the 165 too. But I wouldn't sacrifice the quality just to go down to 165. I have the Subrosive Bitcoin cranks. So speaking of that, I want you guys to be involved in this decision. I've been really debating on whether or not I should just sell like a couple thousand worth of crypto and buy a second camera so that when Barrick and I are out doing our podcast or whatever, I can have a different angle that's more focused on like whatever the table is. So then we could start talking about parts. We could do vlog stuff because this camera sucks for vlogging and things like that. Should I do it or should I just leave the crypto and not ever touch it until it's worth a lot of money or until it all goes away? Let me know because I don't know. Whatever you guys say, I'll probably just do it. Okay. I trust you guys. So we might just wing it and buy a camera today. Who knows? All right, Rado. Another good question. I like the Bitcoin crank idea though. That's cool. Rado says Doug Douse dull chamber rims mean double wall on FE spin and flip. Oh, Bethley. Rado. Double chamber wall. That is a good question. I don't want to give you any misinformation, but let me just do a quick chamber wall. So I know there's a couple different ways that things vary not vary distinguish that is like so one example is fly. I was reading fly bikes saying, "Oh yeah, we have double wall rims," and I was like, "This is crazy. This is a good deal. The Proton's 540 double wall rims, da 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 da." And then if you look closely, it's double sidewall, and I'm pretty sure that's what they mean by double chamber. So like double wall is the wall where the spokes go in, and then there's another wall separating it. So you have a little bit more like meat, I guess, holding the whole rim together. But then a double chamber wall is essentially like a bead that's going to run on the right side and the left side around the whole rim, and that keeps it from bending left to right a little bit more than just a full straight on single wall. But not as much as like an actual double wall. And I think that's what double chamber is, but I am not 1,000% sure. I just looked up double chamber wall and my website was number one, but I don't answer that question. Um, well, maybe I just lied to you guys, but yeah, okay, okay. Rado, I'm gonna get back to you on that because I'm not sure. From what I'm reading, just basically off the internet, double wall can mean a lot of things. It's like I said, the wall that goes along the spokes, and then there's another wall. But then the chambers are what separate inside that. And that makes a lot more sense because if you look at like a Odyssey 7KA rim, right, there might be 4 or 5 chambers within that double wall rim, and that builds the strength side to side and also up and down. So I don't know if it does it have to be double wall to have 2 chambers. I don't necessarily think so, but I don't have a really good answer for you. So if anyone else does, throw it in there. Help me and Rado out because that's a good question. Yo, Salvador Blanco. It's 2 a.m. and he can't sleep. I know you go to the gym. How about cardio? So no, nope. I skip cardio day for sure. Sometimes I skip like shoulders, but I have it set up when I haven't gone in 2 weeks because my neck, I just wanted to heal. Um, Cardio, I want to start swimming because my gym has a pool and I feel like that's a really good cardio, but it's just really hard for me. I feel like it's a waste of time. I mean, I know it's not, but if I go to the gym, I can just hammer it out, no breaks for like 45 minutes to half an hour. Feel like I got a lot done. Whereas cardio, it's like, bro, I hate standing on this treadmill for like an hour. I get the cramps in the side of my stomach. I just get sweaty and it's like it's not fun. And so I'm like, nah, it's not worth it. Now, if I was competition training, then I would focus a lot more cardio on bike. And what I mean by that is you guys should try this. You'll notice a huge difference in your riding is when I ride for the most part, I go, I do a run, I sit down, I chit chat with whoever I'm riding with and like then go do another run or even not a run, like it might just be drop in, throw a trick, come back, sit down. Okay. And that's way different than if I set a timer for 30 seconds and make sure that for that whole duration, I'm throwing tricks, I'm going in different places of the park. Like I'm actually doing a quote unquote run, and that kills you. Like if you look at my heart rate on this thing, it's just like I get closer to 160, 170. Whereas if I just do like a chill sesh like that, I'm in the 120s. And that's where I would focus on cardio is on the bike, because then it's like killing two birds with one stone. And the only reason I would do cardio is if I'm training for a competition. And so by doing runs like that would definitely give me the competition training and the cardio, like boom boom, kill birds, stones, all in one thing. I'm not wasting time at the gym. Does that make sense? I think that's a good answer. VYNEXX. Hey, do you know if Dan's Comp is a reputable site? So, for everyone who gets a bike recommendation from me, they get rolled into an email sequence after that that gives them emails about different things. And that's a topic that I cover via YNEXX, Vinix. I cover that. So there's a couple things. Dan's comp right now is doing really good. You can ask Salvador. They took care of his problem with his bike, like no questions asked. It took a little bit of back and forth and got escalated, but they did really good. And so I'll just give you a quick story. One quick thing that happened. It was a few years ago. I used to buy from Dan's all the time. I've spent thousands with them. Okay. And a few years ago, they started getting, either they were selling the company or all their sales were catching up to them. I don't know. But they were selling parts that they didn't necessarily have in stock. So there was a lot of customers paying them hundreds of dollars for parts and then not getting a tracking info, not getting an email, a confirmation, anything like that. If they reached out, they said, "Oh, it's out of stock, but it's back ordered. We'll get it to you as soon as we have it." And then like 3 months later, they still didn't have it. And so they lost a lot of trust and a lot of customers because of that. They ultimately sold. So it was family owned. They sold to a bigger company called A Main that runs they're not BMX specific. A Main runs a lot of general bike shops and stuff. So they sold to A Main, and from what I can tell, A Main's doing a really, really good job at trying to build that brand back. I talked about it in the podcast about Eastern, is how the newer generation doesn't know these backstories to a lot of things. And so a new generation, A Main's timing might be perfect, that just a lot of people start using Dance Comp and they build them back to where they used to be. But they're doing really good right now, and they're fully trusted for sure. Walter says, "Hi man, how are you?" I'm good, Walter. I'm good. Michael says, "I finally caught a live stream." Oh, Michael, I'm glad you're here, man. Welcome to the community. A lot of these guys are in here every week. So guys, welcome Michael, welcome Walter and Pedro. You guys just being in here, like you guys are a part of the community. Be friends with each other, follow each other on Instagram and YouTube, and it's so cool to see that. So yeah, glad you're here, Michael. Matt says, "Don't dirt bikes have narrower bars too? I've actually got some Stranger Zia bars on the way, and they're 27-inch wide, so I think that'll help with bar spins." Yeah, no doubt, Matt. I used to ride Stranger Hayes bars, and I think they were 28.5. And then I bought S&M in no. Anyway, taller S&M bars, and they were like 32. I could not bar spin. I mean, I could, but it was like I would every time. I just wouldn't throw it, and it would take me a couple tries to actually throw it. And I had no idea what it was because I didn't know anything about specs, and I just sold different bars. But right now I'm riding 30, and then when I hop on a 28.5, it's so much easier. So going with the 27 will definitely help you out in aspect of bar spins, but keep in mind that when you shorten it, shorten your hands together like shorter bars, you're not going to have the same amount of control when steering. Your steering is going to be a lot more snappy and a lot more responsive. So you're going to see these flowy guys that go really high, go really fast, and have immaculate control, not do many. Going to be riding a lot wider bars, whereas those technical guys on those shorter bars aren't going, 65 miles an hour and doing huge airs. I mean, 65 is a huge exaggeration, but you know what I mean. You keep us updated, Matt. Hopefully those help a lot with bars. My next bars, I'm gonna get 28.5 and, start doing lots of bars. All right, Yiko says, "I got an email confirmation that it'll be delivered in 7 to 10 days. It's a Sabrosa Letum." Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was a complete, and, it was the Letum because the Letum was the winner of the 5 to $600 price range, tournament, so that's sick. Now, was the email from Time to Shine? And does it, like does the tracking number reflect that? Does their email just say, it'll be delivered in 7 to 10? Double check that. Because usually, like, if I order something, right, they're gonna send you the tracking number, and you can click on it, it'll take you to UPS website, and then on the UPS website, you can see, scheduled delivery, whatever. All right, Rodney, you're gonna have to watch that bike school video a couple times and throw those bars. Man, I put in the group, Rodney. If anyone in there has questions, like I'll do a quick Q&A sometime this weekend and post it because I know sometimes it's easy to get stuck on different tricks. And so if you're having any issues, man, comment on that so I can address your question in the members only group. Rado's questions are just like prime Instagram material, you know? I love so Rado says, if you had a gyro on a dirt bike and went to the skate park, could you do tail whips? I I mean, theoretically, sure, but bro, the dirt bike weighs like 250 and you'd have to be the Hulk or my little brother to actually do the tail whip with the dirt bike. But, I mean, it makes sense, right? If it had a gyro. Sure. I think you should invent a gyro. But you guys see I saw this crash compilation from a weekend of this one guy, and he did the high air, right? He did a race, the guy that flipped over at the race and got flung up bike. That is crazy. And they get up, they keep going. If I do a bar spin and jam my finger, like, I sit down for 20 minutes, I'm like, I hate it here." But they go, they just slam so hard, they get up and, like, they're all dizzy, right? You could tell they're messed up, and they just keep going. I'll never understand that, but good for them. Walter says, "Can you tell me, please, if the Envy 2020 or the Battleship 2021 is better?" Walter, it really depends on your riding style and what you ultimately want to get out of it. I personally love the Battleship. The Envy doesn't come with pegs. The Battleship does come with pegs. The Envy with a cassette. The Battleship comes with a free coaster. The Envy comes in a 20.5 or a 21-inch top tube. The Battleship, I think, comes in a 20.75. So it's going to really depend on, like, do you need pegs? Is that your main goal? Do you need a really responsive? I think geometry wise they're pretty similar, but do you need a 21 inch? Do you need a 20.5? Do you need a 20.7? There's a lot of what ifs to that. You know what I mean? All right, Lucas says I should get a Sony A7. That's what I was looking at, Lucas, just because then I could set up a different angle to focus on like product reviews or whatever I'm talking about here, or the vlog, like I said, and just leave this setup. And but Matt says hold the crypto. The current setup works fine. That's tough. Um, Pedro says sell the crypto and enjoy a fresh camera. If I do, Pedro, I'd go all out. Like I get different lights so that I had a setup to leave in my trunk when Barrick and I go podcast out in the wild, and then a setup to leave here in my room. I don't know. It's up from somewhat right now. Like it was way up, then it crashed, and then I was like about where I was before, and now it's up a little bit. And I'm like, I kind of want to sell before it goes down again, but it could be a bigger up. You know what I mean? I don't know, dude. I just need to quit. Like it messes with my emotions. There's a good oh, that's the question. I was like, there's a good question. I almost missed it. Isaac says, "Are the Rant 48 spline cranks okay?" And okay, like if you're, asking okay, yes, they're okay. The biggest difference with say Rant 48 spline versus Odyssey 48 spline cranks is generally the cheaper version parts, so like Mission, Rant, Salt, they're not going to be heat treated, so the metal is just significantly weaker. The welds are weaker, everything's weaker. Where the Odyssey ones are like heat treated and just a lot more effort was put into them, I guess, quality wise. So that's one of the biggest differences there. Barrick and I were talking about that too last week. So yeah, dude, they're going to be okay, but I break a ton of 48 spline heat treated cranks. Like it's iffy. You like okay, here's a story, guys. I go really fast around our skate park. It's my favorite thing to do. So I'll just drop in, pedal, gap the box, manual down it, right? Rip the corner and just go as fast as I can. And the fun box long ways, I usually hit it with enough speed that I land and manual down the bank on the backside. But when I was coming back at it this other way, I hit it and just went to flat. And when I went to flat, my crank arm snapped off. My leg went under my front tire and it bucked me over. It didn't hurt. Like I was just fine, but I was going, swear to God, like 15, 20 miles an hour, easy. And the crank snapped. Then I was like, bro, what if I had a peg on and it ran over my leg, like sucked my leg up in there? Or what if my ankle twisted when it went down? Like there's things like that. Like, so on a different topic, pros change out their bike like every 6 to 8 months to avoid something breaking and like the stress that their parts are put under. So it I don't know, man. Some things I want to say, like, dude, I wouldn't even risk it. Like riding a sketchy frame with a crack. If that thing blows out in the front, you're gonna hit your face like I did and just have a bad day. So choose wisely. And if that's all you can afford, like go with it, but then expect to have to replace them in 6 months or so. You know what I mean? Yeah, Walter, if you're 6 foot, go with the 21 for sure. Just like Isaac and Lucas said, that's a good choice. Hawk Vision says, so hold on, Hawk Vision. This thing gives my mouth, like, can you guys hear my mouth clicking or not? It makes my mouth like, I'm gonna drink that after the podcast or after the live. Okay. Hawk Vision says, I just bought the 2021 GTT model. Is that a good bang for the price? I was gonna pull it up and I just searched Hawk Vision. Hold on. Anyway, so here's my take. Before I even look at the bike, I've never looked at this bike. I stay away from GT reviews for a number of reasons. Most of the time, GT's bikes are going to be significantly overpriced for the quality that you're getting. And the reason for that, in my opinion, is because they're kind of riding off of their popularity that they had at one point. And a lot of either older riders getting back to it or newer riders assume that GT is still as good as it was back in the day, and I don't think that's necessarily the case. There was one bike we looked at, I think it was the Chris Fox signature model that was outstanding quality. It was a little expensive, but like the price to quality ratio was fair. But then I look at some of their lower end bikes, and it's like a $500 bike without chromoly, and I'm like, no, because you can find full chromoly bikes for like for around that price or less than that. So speaking of Dan's Comp, that's where I'm at right now. I love their coupon codes. That was my favorite thing about them. I see a coupon code here, but these pop-ups drive me absolutely crazy. Why do you need my location? Like I'll tell you my location when I check out. Stop popping up. If you're watching this, Dan's Comp, stop, please stop. Okay, so let's look at the GT 2021. This is the Brian Kaczynski Team Comp bike. I hope that's the right one. $575. See, and I hate doing this. Like, if you said you were looking at it, I would be a lot more excited to do this. But since you already bought it, like, I hate doing this because you already have the bike, man. It's it is what it is, whether it's good or bad. Like, you're gonna ride it, you're gonna enjoy BMX, and then you're gonna replace it when you have to. But since you asked, here we go. It's a chromoly front triangle and chain stays. So I'd say like 60 to 70% of the bike is actually full chromoly. That's okay. The forks are chromoly one piece. Okay, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Bars, full chromoly bars, looks good. Rims, double wall rims. Okay, solid, solid. And it doesn't tell us the weight. So, yeah, I'd say it's a little bit overpriced just because you could get something like the almost the Kink Cloud, and the King Cloud would be way, way, way better quality. The We the People Reason, almost the We the People Reason. So it's pretty close. The only thing is, I wish it was full chromoly for that price, obviously, but they said the dropouts are going to be chromoly or the chain stays, and so the problem with them being high tensile steel is when you do spins, they generally bend. If they're chromoly, you should be okay. But one thing before I go on about, I'll run through the specs for you, or the geometry. But I think a lot of people have said, and I've heard, that when you weld two different types of metal together, you're not creating like a strong bond. So they are still mixing high tensile steel with chromoly. So where those welds go together, it's not necessarily going to be strong, and it could potentially break. So keep that in mind. But it looks okay, honestly. Like, I'd say, like I said, maybe $50 overpriced or so, but not crazy. It's got 20.75-inch top tube, but the chainstay is 13.7. This is crazy long. So you're going to notice manuals are going to be hard to get into, but once you get into them, they'll be easy to control. Spins are going to be hard, but airing a quarter is going to feel pretty comfortable. Okay. And head tube angle 75. So yeah, it's pretty average other than that abnormally long chainstay. So yeah, man. Dude, first of all, enjoy the bike. Welcome to BMX. Welcome to the community. Uh, just shred, have fun. Ask me if you got any questions as you start progressing. I'm happy to help. Okay. Congrats. Like, that sound kind of say, well, it definitely wasn't. God damn it. Everyone at work hates me because they think I'm sarcastic, but I'm not. Like, I'm not sarcastic. I just come off that way. I swear. Anyway, I lost my spot in the question. That was a good question. I like running through stuff like that. Yiko says thoughts about the COVID. I don't know if I want to like say anything on YouTube. I'll get shadow banned. I don't know, man. So I was talking about this with my grandpa. Um, well, and I posted something on Instagram, and I do stand with like what I posted on Instagram. At first, February, March of 2020, we were all kind of like joking about it, and then we're like, oh, people are dying. That's crazy. And so personally, I don't really like know anyone. There, no one close to me has died from it. I think I had it. I got sick for 2 weeks in January. I missed work. I had two negative COVID tests, right? So that's the first scam red flag that I think. And then I had anyway, before I went to California last time, I got an antibody test that tells you if you have COVID antibodies. And I definitely had COVID antibodies. So despite my two tests, one rapid, one not rapid, because I know the discrepancies there, I still had COVID antibodies. So like theoretically, I had it, and it wasn't that bad. I had a headache, road sometimes, which is bad, because I'm spreading COVID, theoretically, but yikes. But anyway, it wasn't that bad. And here's the thing. Now you guys do your own research, but two things here. New Mexico, super strict. We are just barely opening restaurants to 50%, and we're in the yellow. It was 33% in the yellow, but the governors changed it to be 50% in the yellow. And then you look at like Florida, right? You look at Arizona, Texas, different places that have been essentially fully open from the start. And I did this myself. Okay. I looked at percentage of COVID cases in each state. And then I divided it by the population because that's how you get population density, yada, yada, yada. And it was the same, right? Super strict New Mexico had the same amount of cases as super not strict Texas, as super not strict Florida, like percentage wise. So I was like, well, that's kind of weird. Everyone's kind of handling it differently, but we're still getting the same outcome. Now, like I said in the post I did, like condolences to anyone who's lost someone or whatever. But the biggest issue that we have in America, in my opinion, is obesity, right? And just unhealthy lifestyle, whether it be physical unhealthy or mental. Like I could rant on this forever, but people go get in hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt for school, get a job, get a house, get a car. Like you're in debt for your whole life. And because of that, you have to have a job. You can't travel. You can't do this. You can't do that. And so that's the mental health aspect. Like that's a huge issue because we're taught from the start is that debt is good, college is good, everything's good, and we waste away our life trapped essentially. And employers know this. They know like, oh, you have a car payment, so you can't just quit on us. So they could pay you whatever they want. You know what I mean? And so mental physical health biggest problem, and it's not really talked about. So that's my opinion on that. COVID is a sad deal, people dying is a sad deal, but I think there's more to the story in terms of people's health in general. That's my take. But like I said, when I had it, if the test is legit, it wasn't like I was sick for a while, but I'm diabetic, right? So I should be high risk. I've been sick a lot, and it wasn't the worst thing. I said I wasn't drinking Bang, but here I am. Casey says I think Dan's comp is real. I'm not sure though. Dan's comp is very real. I don't know if you were here before or after the rant, but they're fine, man. They are fine. Rado says, "What do I do when I have lots of views on YouTube? I have now 180K, and how do I get the money?" Rado, I don't know, man. I have 1.5 million views on the channel altogether, so that's pretty solid. Thank you guys, thank you guys. But I only make like maybe 100 something a month. So you've got to get like 180,000 views a day, maybe, Rado, to start making some serious money. And keep posting some videos, man. You will be there. You'll be there. Oh yeah, Lucas gave him the legit answers. You need 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subs. Yeah, that's the correct answer, but Ryan says hi. What's up, Ryan? Welcome to the community. Oh, so I'm using my hotspot. My phone just told me that it's about to die. So hold on, let me plug it in real quick. Do you use Casey? This sounds bad. I think they're 9.5, but they used to be 8.75. I thought 10-inch rise was stupid. I thought 11-inch rise was ultra stupid. So I would never go very tall. I'm gonna go up to probably 10 now. So I'm with that being said, I'm pretty sure I'm either 9 or 9.25, and I'm 6'4". So is that a bad idea? My back would probably appreciate me getting some bigger bars. Jay Jenkins says, I have used Dance Comp. Within the last year, I got my package within a week. I love Dance Comp. So, to be completely honest with you guys, the drama or whatever happened years ago, like I said, I think A Main's done an incredible job with bringing back that reputation, and they're trusted. You know, they're doing good now. Personally, I am salty against Dance Comp, and here's why. I have this nice little blog going, and yada yada yada. And here's my problem. Okay, I recommend bikes that I genuinely trust, that I would like feel comfortable if I had a kid. get putting my kid on that bike, whatever. And I don't make any money based on whichever bike I recommend. And that's a huge problem, I think, in a lot of say the camera industry, right? Anyone's going to recommend you a camera because affiliate links. And so then you find out, oh, maybe this camera doesn't actually suck. And what separates the good affiliate marketers versus the bad affiliate marketers is the ones that are open and honest about their reviews and things like that are the better ones, right? And so with BMX, when I recommend a bike, there's no way for me to get an affiliate sale. If I recommend a product on Amazon, I can make 4% if you buy that product. So that's cool. But BMX industry says do not sell on Amazon, blah, blah, blah. So I found Source and they have an affiliate program. I said, hey, I want to be an affiliate, yada, yada, yada. They said, cool. Tom got me set up. And then I'm sending them like 800 clicks, right? 800 people a month go to their website, and their reports say that none of them buy anything. And I know that's totally not true because I get replies from the recommendations like, oh, cool, I picked up this bike from Source. And I'm like infuriated, right? I'm like super angry because I said, hey, what's going on? And the affiliate manager said, well, when they go to the US version, the affiliate link's dropping off. And so I said, yo, Tom, can you fix this? He ghosted me, right? So I'm sending them like hundreds of clicks a month for nothing. And that's very frustrating. So I called Dan's Comp. I was like, yo, what's up, guys? Like, I have this brand, this blog, this is what I do. Like, do you guys want to work together? Do you want to do affiliate? And the guy just pretty much after me calling like 3 different times is like, if he hasn't replied, he probably doesn't want to work with you. And I was like, ouch. I can't even remember his name. I used to have it on the whiteboard, but he's their marketing manager for A Main. And so I was like, you know what? Screw Dan's Comp. But so that's the backstory of why I'm like salty against them. They're fully trusted, right? They're doing fine, but you should be aware of the bridges they burned in the past. Also, long story, but there you go. Rayan says, "What do you think about the We the People Nova?" Um, I don't think it's that good. I have a review on it. I definitely think it's a little bit overpriced or a lot a bit overpriced for the quality you're getting. The We the People bike that really excites me, the Justice is half decent, but it's a little again overpriced. The Reason is where it gets pretty good because they do include like the sprocket with the bash guard, full chromoly, even though it's a single wall rim. For 600, I think that's where it gets pretty serious. William says, "Hold your crypto, do not sell." All right, guys. I think that's been like 3 votes for crypto. So no new camera. Um, sad, but it's okay. It's okay. I think potentially there's crypto is so undervalued right now because no one really understands what's going on, and where like XRP isn't even public, and I have that on Uphold. So I don't know. I think okay, William. I trust you guys. Salvador says, Corey or Morgan, who is your favorite guys? Salvador, I had no idea who Corey Burglar was until like a week ago, which is sad to say. So Morgan all the way. I love Morgan, just like the vibes he puts off, right? He drives a minivan, army guy, just hardcore, kills it on the bike, but then a humble, good dude. You can't get better than that, right? Corey, I don't know who Corey is, and I haven't really watched him on anything. I just see him and Morgan going back and forth. He has a sense of humor. He's pretty funny. Is he super good? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched enough videos to tell. In the podcast, I told Barrick, I don't think he's that good. But like I said, I haven't watched a whole lot of clips, so that's pretty ignorant. I have no idea. Grammy, I don't mean to laugh at this, but it's funny. This part's funny. And it's not funny anyway. I used to ride a stolen Casino XL for 2 years. It got stolen. It's not funny that it got stolen, but it's funny that it's called a stolen, right? And then anyway, I see people post about it like in some Facebook group, right? Like BMX sickness is like, hey, I got a stolen casino. Would anyone be willing to buy it? And then people are like, bro, you've got balls saying that you stole this bike and then try to sell it. And it's like they don't even understand what's going on, right? So I always think that's funny. Sorry that your bike got stolen. That sucks. Check Craigslist. Okay. Let the police know. Craigslist, you're like, dude, 9 times out of 10, I've had friends get their bike stolen. Okay. They find it on Craigslist. They say they want to buy it. They meet up. They beat the guy up. They take their bike back. So try that. I think 9 times out of 10, that's where it is. eBay, or just like see the guy riding around town and in a bright orange bike that he spray painted, right? And also, I don't know if you guys have anything like this, but here in Cruces, we have a bike shop that buys used bikes and then like resells them. So check with that because it could be there too. So hopefully you find it, man. The casino is on back order. Was looking at the Primer XL instead. Would you have a better suggestion? Depending on your skill level, look into like the forecaster. It's a step in quality up from the primer, but it is a lot better of a bike. Or the Sunday X if you want to go a Sunday. I would personally stay away from stolen just because I think they're kind of on their way out of BMX. And what I mean by that is I don't see them making enough moves to really be considered a company. They were doing a lot more when I was really into it, like 4 or 5 years ago, and now they're really dying out. So I would stay away from it just for that reason. I think Sunday's going strong. So if you have warranty issues, Sunday's still going to be around versus stolen, probably not. That's just my take on it. But primer is okay for a beginner, but if you've been riding for 2 years, I feel like you should be riding almost at a mid level or so, depending on your progression. And then I would look for a Forecaster or a Sunday X. Sorry your bike got stolen. That sucks. Derek says, "What are your thoughts on the Fit Bike Co. Street Free Coaster Complete?" Derek, I think all of Fit's 2021 line is a complete scam. I mean, kind of not really. I do genuinely think that Fit's bike, their whole line, I still haven't even done video reviews on it because I don't particularly want to persuade people to buy it, but I don't really want to bash them. Look, they don't have double wall rims and they're like almost $500. Eh, Fit for being the brand it is, it just I was disappointed. And maybe I had higher expectations and that's why I'm really was harping on them a lot in the reviews is that Fit to me was like the BMX brand of all brands. Like I looked up a lot to Fit and you can look at their quality dissipate over the last 5 years of their complete bikes. So they used to have, four or $500 to $600 pro level completes, full chromoly double wall rims, and that's solid, right? And now their whole line, like not one bike in their 2021 line has two double wall rims. I think the trail version is the closest with one double wall rim, and then it's like tri molly. And so anyway, long story short, very disappointed in the whole line. But I will recommend the Fit Park and the Fit Street for people who are looking for a street or park specific bike in my recommendations because they did very good at capitalizing on that. Most bikes are pretty general and don't have all the bells and whistles that you would need for a specific discipline, and Fit's done well with that. So if you can sacrifice the quality and get, you want free coaster and pegs, the Fit Street's going to be okay. However, I urge you to watch the $500 to $600 complete bike tournament. Spoiler alert, at the end, the Sabroso Letum is ultimately the winner. I feel like it's the best bang for your buck bike in that price range. And it comes with everything that the Fit Street does. But better quality for a little more money. So maybe you, maybe you. Hello, I see all your chats. I hope you didn't leave yet, but I will get to this. I probably won't. Um, I'm not sure, guys. I just got skipped down. This live got pretty poppin', and I appreciate you all, but we're at an hour, so I'm gonna start popping around more on questions. I'm gonna not answer every single one. I probably won't be able to. However, if you guys have any last minute questions that you want me to see, start posting them in, and hopefully I will get to it. but I've gotta find my spot now. I'm really sweaty today. I don't know why. That's weird. If you guys haven't liked the live, hit the like button. I'm gonna plug it, even though I normally don't. 22 is a good number, but I'm just gonna say to hit the like button. Okay, so Lucas or Isaac said, "Did you say your stolen bike got stolen?" See, so I'm not the only one who is laughing about that. Uh, I feel bad, but that's crazy. Okay, maybe you says, "Answer my question. Why are you so cool? I gotta go, but I'll be back for the stream later if you're still live. Bye. You're the best. Also, have a custom link launched by custom. I mean, I destroyed it, so I had to replace a lot of parts, but it's good. Is the kink launch good?" That was a lot. Thank you. Maybe you. Thanks for popping in. And Vert says, I went on a month-long crusade looking for a Kink Williams. I had to drop $1,000 on a custom build instead. Kind of glad I did that, to be honest. Look, Vert, y- doing that is the best thing. If you guys have the money, going custom, like it is a black and white difference. There is a, a clear line in between a complete bike and a custom bike. The closest you're going to get is the We the People Envy to a complete or to a custom bike. But the problem with that is you cannot adjust it for your size. Like everyone's style, everyone's size is a little bit different. So complete bikes are built for like just cookie cutter examples. Like, this person could be okay on this bike. But when you build a custom bike, you could say, oh, I do want my stem to have a little bit more of an upsweep or a rise because I like the feeling of taller bars without having to actually get taller bars. Oh, I want 165 millimeter crank so my feet don't hit the pegs. Like you can get really specific in that aspect and get like the perfect bike, and it's going to be a lot better. So I'm really glad that you were able to go with that, Vert. That's exciting, man. Matt said, enjoying Doug's hot take. Lots of wisdom. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for being here, man. You're always in the live. Like, I appreciate you for sure. Anders Sevson says, I don't want my BMX to break, but can I still buy the kink gap? Look, man, your bike is going to break regardless. And if it doesn't break, you're doing something wrong. And look, we progress, right? And as we progress, we put stress on bikes, we put stress on parts. Look, okay, imagine this, right? How profitable would it be for a bike company to design parts that never break? Like if a part never ever broke, they would make significantly less money than they did if they designed parts that do break. Now, I'm not saying they design it on purpose. I think Odyssey parts pretty much don't break, but what I'm saying is that they're meant to break and they should break. And if you're progressing, if you're putting in work, they're going to break. So, with that being said, the kink gap is going to break, but it's going to break less quickly as like the Sunday primer, but it's going to break more quickly than the Kink Williams. Does that make sense? Vert says, are you a cassette or a free coaster guy? Cassette for sure. I love the idea of the planetary free coasters because I hate the slack that comes with free coasters. But I'm a cassette guy because of the slack and because I hate it. I just hate it. Matt switched to cassette from free coaster and he's liking it a lot better just for the instant engagement. Like I said, no slack. Yeah, Rodney says the We the People crisis is doing great for me. Been taking a good beating. Rodney, I'd love to see some clips in bike school. Oh, Isaac, I was going to take a picture. I don't know what we're talking about, but Isaac said mentioned me in the same section as Billy Perry and Scotty Kramer. Guys, could you imagine if like, a year from now we're at 250K? That'd just be insane. Wow. Green Life. I'm not sure, but let me look real quick. Tall Order is owned by Sebastian Keep, I think. But let me look. if it's, cheaper than the Kink Whip and available, that's a double whammy because the Kink Whip is sold out everywhere. And, yeah, let's see. I don't know where you're finding it. It's out of stock here on Source. Oh, wow. Full chromoly, 20.85-inch top tube. That's weird. The chainstay length is gonna be like that GT. It's very, very, very long. But a lot of the tall order guys, if you guys look at their style, they go high, they go fast, they ride dirt. Like, I mean, except for Kieran, right? Kieran's riding a 12.7 chainstay, but this is a 13.75 double wall rims. This is a really good bike, honestly. I'm gonna include it in one of my bike reviews. I think if this was in one of the $500 to $600 brackets at that price, because it's a 2020 model, it's on sale. That's an insanely good deal. So jump on that ASAP Rocky, Green Life. Unders, depending on your riding level, I'm not sure how long the kink gap would last. For a brand new rider who progresses pretty fast, I would say the kink gap would last about a year. So, and again, that's on par with what I was saying. Like for kink, if you buy a 2020 model, they want it to break in a year, so you buy a 2021 model, right? Like that's the whole concept there. So I'd say about a year, but again, it depends on how much you ride it, how well you take care of it, and how fast you progress. Random channel says bike companies just changed their names. Who TF owns Stranger? Random. I think it's Rich Hearst, right? I think that's his name. He owns Stranger, and he also did something with a shoe company. There's a lot of guys. A good podcast is Imprimatur. Look it up. It's Mike Hinkin. So he's the team manager for Madeira. There's all that racist stuff that happened with Madeira. I don't know if he's still doing his podcast, but I think they quit making Madeira. Profile owns Madeira. And so Profile should be under just as much heat as Madeira and Mike. But I don't know the whole dynamic. But anyway, Rich Hearst owns Stranger. I don't know how I got talking about Madeira. Oh, because he was on an Imprimatur podcast. And Mike brought up to Rich about the Adam LZ thing, because that was a huge chunk of drama, was when they brought Adam LZ on Stranger as a pro, and a lot of people quit because they feel like he didn't deserve it. So Stranger is interesting. Oh, oh, Salvador Blanco said, "Who's the most skilled BMX YouTuber? Panza, Billy Perry, or Dougsterbob?" That's funny. Um, and Isaac says that I'm in third place. Sad, but accurate, guys. I was thinking of this in the shower. Actually, I was like, I'm not that good of a bike rider. Like I'm decent, right? But I'm not the best. So I can give you guys my knowledge, and nobody wants to watch me ride bikes. So it's okay. It works out. Life is good. Pazzy X Vash. Hey guys, what's up, Pazzy? Where are you from, man? What kind of language is that you're talking? Imagine if me, Panza, and Billy Perry and Kramer all did a podcast, an hour-long video. That'd be sick. The Three Musketeers of BMX YouTube. Yeah. So, guys, I got sucked down a rabbit hole earlier watching Scotty Kramer X Games runs. Dude was killing it, and I never watched Scotty Kramer much, even before his accident, even after it. But it was very impressive at his age, the amount of talent he had, and his runs were really well pieced together. That's a different thing. Like that's a whole nother beast. Is yeah, in Instagram days, we see guys land crazy stuff all the time, but 90% of them could not link it in a run. They cannot take it and put it in a functional run that's back to back. And Kramer did that really well. So that was just I watched a lot of those videos and I was like, Jesus Christ, killer. Vert says, any idea how titanium stacks up against chromoly? So theoretically, Vert, titanium is the absolute best you can do. But let me tell you guys a story. I bought titanium profile cranks. So they're chromoly cranks with a titanium spindle, and just that alone saved like 10 to 12 ounces. But I broke it in like a year. I It bent. I landed rough on dirt jumps and it bent down. There was a noticeable wobble in my cranks. So I called Profile. I said, "Yo, you guys have a warranty?" They said, "No, we don't do a warranty on titanium parts because they don't break." And I'm like, "Well, they broke." And they're like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, they wouldn't do anything." I was like, "Well, that sucks because one, it's $1 million extra. And two, it shouldn't break, right?" So I bought Coco Zarita, who is at Woodward, lives by Woodward. He had an extra spindle and he sold it to me for like $90, which is way better than 150. And so then I had that. I put it on. I snapped that thing clean in half in another 8 months. Like it just sheared right off. So long story short, either Profiles titanium is a scam or titanium is not that good. But when you sacrifice weight, like you are sacrificing quality. So that's my take on it. All right. I love all these comments, guys. Okay, so I think I am going to pop off here, go get some lunch. Oh, Salvador Blanco thinks I could win against Big Boy. So you guys are so nice. I don't know. I'll do some more riding videos for you all since I'm appreciated up there. But he thinks I could win against Big Boy. Maybe if I sent it more. Big Boy's pretty good. Again, though, I don't watch him too much. But here's one thing: I was 3,000% sure when Adam LZ went pro on Stranger that I could beat Adam LZ in a game of bike. Um, I can three whip up a big ledge too. Like it's just having airtime, you know. But he was pretty on lock with some certain tricks that I would have to work for. But here's the thing: the most valuable thing to a company is their influence. And that's what I'm building up by building a good relationship with you guys and helping you guys get into BMX. I would rather never, ever, ever, ever get sponsored, but help five of you guys actually get sponsored than like get sponsored and never help anyone. You know what I mean? So I feel like by having this brand in this community, like a handful of you guys are going to go on to do really good things in BMX, and I'm just a part of that. And I would rather that happen any day than just me. Like it's really selfish if I was the only, you know what I mean? So that's kind of my take on it. Guys, with that being said, keep shredding, make me proud, go get sponsored for me, and enjoy your weekend. We're going to do some riding on Friday. I'm going to do some riding tomorrow. My mom's coming to visit, so she's going to be mad at me. I'm going to say, peace out, go ride bikes with my friends. But we'll get some clippies for you guys. Okay. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. And thanks for hanging out with me. I genuinely appreciate all of you. Peace.